I fermented rice water for a whole 6 weeks, and this is what happened. Hey love, it's Angelica aka Angie B. Welcome or welcome back if you are new. It is my passion to help you grow long, healthy, natural hair. I occasionally do a little bit of skincare and makeup here and there when requested. So if that seems like something you might be interested in, consider subscribing. The subscription button is right down there, as well as the bell icon. Make sure you hit the bell so you get notifications every single time I post. Also follow my Instagram right here. It is Angie B with 3 underscores. Same on Twitter and TikTok. So if you'd like to follow me there, you see some things that I don't usually post on here. Without further ado, let's get straight into the video. So guys, I did it. You guys have been commenting that little rice bowl under so many of my videos so that I could ferment rice water for a month or more and use it in my hair and see what happens. And guys, I'm gonna break it down easily in this video, but spoiler alert, have you ever seen my hair look like this? Look at this. Shine. Definition. Okay, so if this is the first rice water video you're seeing from me, I have tons, literally tons of other rice water videos on my channel. I'll actually link the playlist in the description box below so you can check it out, so I don't have to explain too much. But anyway, I have been using rice water for well over a year. I have tried red rice water, haven't tried black rice water. I've tried red rice water using brown rice. I've tried regular white rice, regular white rice. Bruh. This is a tongue twister. Regular white rice water. Yes. I have tried all of them. Fermented for a day. Fermented for 5 days. I've tried the Yao Women's recipe. Now, out of all the different recipes I have tried, the Yao Women's recipe is the one that has been the best recipe I have ever found. And the exact recipe I used in the video is the same rice water that I fermented for the 6 weeks. So if you haven't seen that video, I'll also link it at the end of this video. And I'll link in just a few clips, just so if you don't want to go to the other video, you can see a little clip of how I made it in this video. So we're going to go into that soon. Okay, so we are starting with 1.5 cups of rice. This is plain rice from my aunt's farm actually. It is just Zambian rice. Just rinse the rice water and you can see there's just little like dirt and particles coming out. As you can see, this is not like packaged rice. And now I'm getting this warm water. You don't want boiling water. And I'm using this cup and I'm putting about 8.5 cups of water. And now it is time to add the secret ingredient of the Yao women. They use a pomelo fruit. Now, pomelo fruit is not accessible here and it's not a common fruit. So the closest thing to pomelo fruit is not actually oranges, it's actually a grapefruit. So I stored that in a dark cupboard and this is the result 5 days later. You can see that it looks very bubbly and stuff. Those bubbles coming up just show how fermented it is. You want to keep massaging and kneading the rice literally for a full 5 minutes or more. If you've never tried this, I suggest you try this. You don't need to boil the water to get to this point. I fermented that rice water for 5 days and then I used it in my hair for 2 weeks, and I didn't use it every day. I get this question all the time. Please do not use rice water in your hair every day. Use it a maximum of once a week. So in 2 weeks, I only used it twice. I used it the first week when I washed my hair, and then I used it a second week again, and then rinsed it out. And after that 2 weeks, I gained a whole 2 inches of hair in 2 weeks. That is ridiculous. I think that's the most amount of hair I've ever grown. So I thought I'm going to try exactly what the Yao women do. They actually ferment their rice water for a whole 6 weeks to even 2 months, like a month to 2 months, I guess. That is how they ferment their rice water. And I was very scared of this because I thought my rice water was going to go moldy, or that it was going to smell extremely horrible, or that it was just going to get sour and rancid and I wouldn't even want to use it in my hair. But you guys commented the rice bowl. I asked you to do it and you wanted me to do it, so that's what I did. You might be wondering, what's the difference whether I ferment my rice water for 2 days or I ferment my rice water for 6 weeks? Like, is there actually a difference? What's the point of doing it? I'm going to tell you what the point is. First of all, fermented ingredients increase the potency of the nutrients in it. It doesn't matter what it is. I can give you an example of SK2. This is a face product and it contains something called pitera, which comes out from fermenting yeast. And this ingredient is extremely amazing for the skin. It makes it look smooth, and it is extremely high in antioxidants. And antioxidants are very easily absorbed by the skin and the hair. This is exactly what happens with rice water. So the more you ferment it, the more nutrients are released and the potency is increased. Also, antioxidants are very tiny compared to things like proteins, which means they can absorb into your hair much faster faster, and you can also see the effects much faster. So if you ferment something for 6 weeks versus if you ferment it for 2 days, there is a very high chance that the potency of all the nutrients in the rice water are extremely increased. The next thing is, after you ferment the rice water for this long, it actually balances its pH, which makes it perfect for your hair and scalp, because the pH of the rice water after it's being fermented is just like literally the perfect pH for your scalp. And when your pH is balanced, it helps you absorb products more. It helps your scalp not get dandruff and stuff like that, because the pH is balanced and everything that you put on it works more effectively, just the same way your pH gets balanced on your skin when you use a toner. When you put moisturizer and other products, they just go in much better because the pH has been balanced. It's basically like a toner for your hair. So it also has vitamin E, ferulic acid, inositol, and of course all the B vitamins in the form of antioxidants and pitera, which makes it absorb into your hair so much easier. Also note that as soon as you put rice water in the fridge, the fermenting stops. So when you're fermenting it, do not ferment it in the fridge. It's going to stop fermenting. You have to ferment it in a dark cupboard, and that is what I did. So what happened was I fermented that rice water for 5 days. Then I put it in the fridge and it stopped fermenting. Then I did my Yao Women rice water video. Then all of you guys commented that rice bowl emoji, and I realized, wait a minute, I have a lot of rice water. I'm not going to finish it in time, so I might as well ferment this same rice water. So I took it out of the fridge. It was only in the fridge for 2 days, and then I kept it in the cupboard, and then I fermented it for 6 weeks. And I literally did not open the cupboard once. It wasn't because air was going to affect it or anything. It was in a tightly closed glass jar. I just didn't want to look at it in case it went bad or it went sour. I wanted us to see the results together on camera, and this is what it looked like. So this is the rice water exactly after 6 weeks. You guys can see the grapefruit peels still look pretty orange. They have kind of like darker orange spots on them in some places, but it still looks very good. There's nothing moldy. There's nothing looking greenish or whitish. It just kind of looks a little bit more orange because of the color from the grapefruit, kind of like what happened when I fermented it for 5 days, but just a little bit more intense. And now it's time to see the magic. You just mix it up and it becomes white as milk again, just like how it was before. And that is my rice water in perfect condition. I smelt it and it literally smelled amazing, just like grapefruit. Nothing wrong, just regular rice water. I went ahead and poured some into my spray bottle, and this is the same rice water I was using in my video where I had the braids in my hair and I was spraying it all over my hair. So this is what I used, and then I went ahead and stored it in the fridge. As you guys can see, it's still a lot of rice water, and I could continue using it for at least another 2 weeks even. And once it's in the fridge again, it's not fermenting. Okay, so as you saw, that's what it looked like. It just looked a little bit more orange. I thought it was going to be like moldy and orange. And the reason why I know this is because if you can even test this out. Get rice water with grapefruits or orange or whatever you want to put in it, however you do your rice water, put it by itself and leave it to ferment for like 1 week, and then get plain water with no rice and nothing in it and put pieces of like grapefruits and lemon in it or something like that. I did this by mistake. I was just like infusing water to drink, but then I didn't like the taste, so I forgot to throw it out. And within 3 days, the oranges and the grapefruits were green. Like mold had grown all over it, and I was like, if this is happening to my water, no mold, no nothing, no weird smell, which is the biggest thing. I was like, if this smells terrible, I have no idea what I'm gonna do. I was literally so surprised. Can you imagine rice water fermenting for 6 weeks? Side note, I do have a very bad sense of smell, but I did ask someone else to smell it. It literally just smelled like grapefruit. So what I did was, the first time when I fermented the rice water, I did the grapefruit thing and whatever, then I threw out the peels. So what I did was I just put in more grapefruit peels into the same rice water, so that while it was fermenting, I noticed that the grapefruit basically absorbs that horrible rice smell. It smelled exactly the same as when I fermented it for 5 days. It just smelled like grapefruit. It felt very smooth. Literally, I can't even explain how shocked I was. I really prepared myself for a bad smell, but it actually didn't have one at all. So now the point that you've all been waiting for, how I used it in my hair and what were my results. So what I did was I decided to use this rice water while my hair was in cornrows, and I used it for a single month. I will link the video in the eye right here, and maybe I can show a little clip of how I sprayed that rice water in my hair. I did some videos to show how I use rice water in my hair while it is in cornrows, so you guys could see how I use it. And within that time frame for a month, I used the rice water in my hair, and I used it only about 3 times. I used it once on the day when I was braiding my hair. Then while my hair was in the cornrows, I washed my hair twice. And on both wash days, I did not use shampoo. I only co-washed, and then I used my rice water. I left it in my hair for 20 minutes under heat, and then I rinsed it out. I get this question a lot again all the time. Just want to double check and make sure you understand. People always ask, can I spray rice water in my cornrows, in my box braids every single day? No, you cannot. Because although it doesn't have an extremely high amount of protein, it still has protein in it, and it also has a little bit of starch. So even if you have the softest hair in the world, it can still make your hair a little bit hard. So please guys, only use this a maximum of once a week. Even once every 2 weeks is fine. So like I said, within the 1 month, I only used this rice water 3 times. So now let's get to the results. This is the biggest thing that you're all here for, of course. This is what's going to make you want to try or not care about using this rice water that I fermented for 6 weeks. So the first noticeable difference is definitely my hair has grown a lot faster than usual. Now I can always tell this by how loose my braids are, and I actually did a video on how I unbraid my braids, which I'll also link in the eye here. I know I'm linking a lot of videos, but I don't want to make this video too long because I know you get bored. But I did do a video on how I unbraid my hair, and you could see that I had almost like an inch of new growth. Now the first time when I used the Young Women recipe that I fermented for 5 weeks, I did measure my hair with the measuring tape. And if you watched that video, you saw me say that I'm not really going to be measuring my hair with the measuring tape again because I don't like fixating on the numbers, and also it is very difficult to do and very annoying. But if you saw my hair out even just 2 months ago, you'll see that it looks completely different to this. Like my hair is this long and the curls are so defined. Like my hair has grown so much. If I just pull a couple strands, you guys can see like it's way off camera. My hair has really grown fast, and I think even just like from the thickness and the volume you can tell. So just to let you know some other factors that are in it as well, I have been eating very healthy. I haven't been working out as much. I haven't drank as much water as I need to, but I've been doing pretty well, and I've been doing the same thing I was doing even when I did the 5-day challenge, which is just the same. I've been trying to be healthy in general. And then my hair on average grows about ½ an inch a month. So ½ an inch of hair is normal. I think for most people, they actually grow 1/4 inch to ½ an inch and maybe a full inch every single month. So it all depends on the person. And as soon as I unbraid my hair, I can usually see like a really slight difference, or sometimes almost no difference. With this hair, I definitely saw a big difference. If you guys can see a big difference too, please give this video a big thumbs up in the comment section below. And also, onion. I'm getting so many questions about doing an onion video. If you want me to do an onion juice video and test it out on my hair, see if it actually does anything, comment the onion emoji in the comment section below, and I'm definitely going to make a video on that, and I'll know that you guys want me to make a video on that. So the next thing, this is actually one of the most amazing results I've seen from the rice water over the growth and the length and whatever. The thing that I have seen the most is it seems like the rice water is slightly altering my hair porosity. It makes my hair strands feel very smooth, and it makes my hair look very shiny. You guys can see a close-up. My hair is very shiny. When your hair shaft is very smooth, it definitely shines more, but also when your hair is very healthy, it also adds shine. So this is the shiniest my hair has ever been since I've been natural or relaxed. I think I've been one of those people whose hair looks like semi-matte or something. I don't know how to explain it, but my hair looks so shiny, so healthy, so full. But the biggest change is my hair is absorbing product so much better. I'm one of those people who, when I put things like deep conditioner or leave-in conditioner on my hair, it usually just looks white. It kind of sits on top of my hair, and then only after I go under heat or leave the product in my hair for a long time does it absorb into my hair. And then usually you can still see some like sort of white residue, especially my Shea Moisture conditioner, because it is very thick. But since I started using this rice water, honestly, since I started using even the one that ferments for 5 days till now, both of these two have had the same effect when it comes to product absorption. As soon as I put the product on my hair, it just sinks into my hair. My hair feels so much softer. It's so much easier to detangle. I don't know what kind of miracle it did there. I can't explain what it did. I'm just telling you how it happened for me. It lays my shaft down very nice and smooth, and it is a game changer. I'm literally never going back to the old rice water. Did it work? Did it promote hair growth? Yes, it did. Is this one better? 10 times better. Another point of what happened with the rice water, this is the same thing that happens across the board. It hasn't been more or less than any other rice water I've used, and this is when it comes to shedding. The white rice, red rice, literally any kind of rice water I've ever used always reduces my shedding by at least half. And this one is no different. So I'm not going to say that this rice water that fermented for 6 weeks is better than the one that ferments for like 2 days. In terms of the shedding, it always reduces my shedding. You would never have no shedding because your hair naturally sheds. It has a growth cycle, so that will never completely stop. You will never get no shed hairs. But this highly reduces my shedding by, I would say, about 50%. And with that comes volume. I always have very, very thick hair. If you can tell, you barely can see my scalp, even if I move my hair around. Like, I have very, very thick hair, and my hair is naturally thick. But every time I use rice water, it gets like a little boost. It's a little thicker than usual. One, my individual hair strands I think are more plump because I do have very thick individual hair strands as well. And then I also have a lot of hair strands on my head. And by this I mean like the amount of hairs I have per square inch. Of course, I don't know the number, but some people have slightly bigger gaps in their hairs because they actually have less hair follicles on their head. I have a lot. If you can see this, let me try and come close to the screen. So you can see that the gaps between my individual hair follicles on my hair is very, very tiny. My hair is like dense, very tightly packed together. That is just how my hair is. So unfortunately, no one can increase or reduce the amount of hair follicles they have on your head. The number of follicles, it's literally like pores. The number that you're born with is the number that you're going to have. So what you need to do to increase the thickness is just to make sure you reduce your shedding so you have more of those hair follicles on your head, and then it will make you have more hair. It's just a given, it's obvious, and if your hair is more plump and healthy, it will also appear much thicker. So luckily for me, I do have a lot of follicles, but I do see a difference if my hair is shedding a lot. It starts to look a little bit thinner, and when my hair is shedding less, it looks very thick and healthy and plump like this. And then this is another game changer for me. I literally never expected this one. So I'm the kind of person who has always had a couple white hairs in my head. I think it just runs in the family. Even my mom and my aunts, like everyone, especially on my mom's side. I'm pretty sure on my dad's side, everybody goes gray like very late. But on my mom's side, people have very beautiful thick hair, but it goes gray very fast. Since I was maybe 14 or something like that, like a young teenager, I've always had gray hairs in my head. So I'm not one of those people who's like, oh my God, I found a gray hair, I'm getting old. It doesn't bother me because I've basically always had it. And when I was relaxed, I think I had quite a lot of gray hairs, especially in the front, like somewhere here. And then in the middle toward the back, I would always find about 4 or 5 gray hairs. And for some reason, my gray hair was always growing faster, like it was way longer than the rest of the hairs in my head. Maybe it's because it's slightly straighter or something. I have no idea. But I always had like 3 or 4 gray hairs in the back. Even if I plucked them out, they would grow back. That's why they say don't pluck out your gray hair because it just comes back. In the front, I always had maybe 4 or 5 gray hairs. I don't know if you see them in my hair videos, but I usually do have them. And right now, I kid you not, since I've been using this rice water that fermented for 6 weeks, because here's the thing, white hair can't turn black, but your hair sheds. So sometimes when your hair sheds, it doesn't choose what hair is going to come out. Even the white hairs come back, but every time the white hairs come out, of course, they would just grow back and I wouldn't even notice it. Right now in my head, I have only seen a single white hair. I think I can see it here. Right here. So far, that is the only white hair I have in my head. Another thing is, if you've been on my channel for a while, you know that my hair is not black at all. It's not even dark. Some people always ask me if I dye my hair or if I've like lightly bleached it before or something like that, especially when it was straight. You could see I've got so much like brownish reddish hair. My hair has always been like that. It makes no sense. My mom has jet black hair. Like, people would always ask her if she dyes her hair black. Same with my brother, jet black hair. My dad doesn't have jet black hair, but it's black. Don't know what happened to me. I have some brown hair. Since I started using this rice water, my hair has darkened up a lot. You can see it's still not black. Of course, my hair is not black. It's not going to turn black. But my hair is much darker. Now, if you're wondering how this happens, rice water, especially fermented rice water, it encourages the production of melanin in your hair. Melanin is what makes your hair dark or light. So the darker your hair is, the more melanin it has. The lighter it is, the less melanin it has. So obviously, it's been promoting the melanin production in my hair, and it's promoting it looking much thicker and darker because, of course, dark hair also looks thicker for some reason, because I guess less light hits it. So that has been something that is very, very welcome. I'm very happy with it. Now, if you have dyed hair or anything like that, you want to do maybe a patch test to see if it's going to affect your hair. But if your hair is naturally, like, it's only going to increase the natural color of your actual hair. So if your hair is blonde, and it'll probably get a slightly deeper blonde. But if you bleached your hair, then you literally remove the color from your hair, so it's only going to affect probably the hair at your roots. So the big question, would I ferment rice water for 6 weeks again? I definitely would, but I wouldn't say that the 6 weeks rice water has a huge dramatic difference compared to the 5-day rice water. Now, would I ferment it less than 5 days anymore? Nope. I saw a huge difference. I'm definitely never gonna go less than 5 days, but I think if I make a big batch and ferment for 5 days, I could always use a little bit and then continue fermenting it throughout the weeks, and I definitely see a huge difference. I think that you should try it at least once to see if it's going to help your hair. I literally saw amazing benefits. I'm so happy with the growth, the health, the thickness. Give this video a thumbs up if you're enjoying it so far. Hit my face right there if you didn't subscribe in the beginning. Also hit my face there to subscribe to my other YouTube channel about YouTube tips, and watch the 2 videos on the side of the screen right here if you'd like to see any of my older videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video.